Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today we're going to be going over a bunch of new Pokemon TCG card reveals. These are all from the expansion Heatwave Arena, which is a Japanese expansion releasing March 14th, so in a few weeks, and like exactly two at the time recording this. And then this will be part of the expansion, the international expansion, the English expansion, Destined Rivals in May, May 7th. Near the end of May. So we'll be seeing that in a little while. Internationally, we haven't gotten any of the trainers Pokemon yet. We will be seeing a few trainers Pokemon here, but those will be coming, or it's around like a couple of months behind Japan. So again, it's a little ways off, but these are really cool cards to keep an eye out for. And again, we'll be legal in Japan soon. You can take a look at deck lists and results for that. Relatively soon, which I'm really excited for because these cards are really, they're really cool. So the first cards we have here are the Ogerpons. So these are the single prize Pokemon, the quote babies. So they have less HP and they are not EXs. This does actually matter a lot because there's the card Ogre's Mask, which I've actually talked about a little bit recently. Because I think it'll be a solid post rotation. It's seen some play in Japan, but it's a card that it does stuff, but it works with Pokemon EX with Ogerpon in their name. So this will not work with these Ogerpons if you are wondering, so do keep that in mind. But anyways, there are four of them. These are the first appearance of the three that aren't the Teal Mask one in the as regular Pokemon. So that's kind of interesting. But anyways, we see they all have this one attack here: Something Dance, Grass Dance, Flame Dance, Water Dance, and a Rock Dance, which says search your deck for a basic energy of that Pokemon's type and attach it to one of your Pokemon. Any of them, it's not super spectacular, but it could be worse. It's certainly not something that's going to be super good at in more serious decks, but it's there. And then you have some secondary attacks, which are two energy of their type and one colorless. The Grass Ogerpon, the Teal Mask, does 120. Can't use it again next turn. Not very good there. The Fire one does 80 and burns. Not super impressive. This one does 100 and then heals 30 from it, but only has 110 HP, which is not particularly high. Especially for like a fully evolved basic. And then you have Mountain Ramming, which does 100 and discards one. This is the best of them, I think, but none of them are super good. Teal Mask Ogerpon does hit weakness on Charizard, but it's not doing enough, and there's no super effective glasses even if you wanted to use that. So yeah, unfortunately these aren't super good. Burn's not terrible to be honest. There's the Magmortar from Journey Together, which is a pretty interesting card. Well, it's not anything crazy. It adds burn damage. I think it's fun. But not super good here. But did want to mention these cards because they are new reveals. But getting to the trainers Pokemon, these are the only ones we're going to be looking at. But these are pretty interesting. We have Ethan's Pokemon, and we've seen some Ethan's Pokemon as well. Revealed in the past, we saw most notably the Ethan's Ho-Oh EX, which is a card that is really interesting, I guess, or it's solid. I mean, it allows you to accelerate two basic fire from your hand to one of your benched Ethan's Pokemon. So this is important for all the Ethan's Pokemon. The other ones, the Ethan Cyndaquil, I believe, allows you to search out Ethan's Adventure. And Ethan's Adventure will allow you to search out your Ethan's Pokemon in basic fire energy. And then the others like kind of work together, but they're all fire. Well, the Ethan's Pichu is not fire, but it's colorless as an attacker. These are, I guess, colorless. You have Ethan's Pinsir, which says for 3 colorless, it does 70, and if any of your Ethan's Pokemon were knocked out last turn, then it does 100 more. I said it's colorless. It's colorless attacking, like attack cost, but it is a grass Pokemon, so this will one-shot Charizard EX. This is pretty good against that, or it's actually quite good against this, or that deck. So this is a solid inclusion into the deck. It's not amazing in other situations. It's okay. You have big damage. I think your main attacker is the Ethan's Magcargo, so mixing it up with a single prizer isn't amazing. And Ethan's Typhlosion is also another attacking option. The Ethan's EX is a Pokemon that can attack, but it's pretty bad. It does 160, and it's a 2 prizer, and it's a multiple Ethan's Ho-Oh EXs using their abilities as well. So that's going to be pretty awkward. So Ethan's Pinsir is okay, but not like absolutely insane. They're certainly a Pokemon you probably want to be including as a 1 or 2 of an Ethan's. Ethan's isn't super strong, to be honest, either. I think the Ethan's Pokemon are pretty mediocre. I think they're worse than Lily's Ends and Hops, which I've talked about a bunch on the channel, which I think are pretty good. Well, Lilies is just Lilies Clefairy EX pretty much, which is it's a really good card. But then I think it's better than the Ionos, though I think it's closer to the Ionos. It's like within that tier, which the Ionos aren't unplayable. I mean, it's certainly a top 15, 20 deck, somewhere in that range. Which is okay. And then Ethan Sudowoodo isn't super good here. It can do for one fighting 20 and stop retreating. It can be used for trapping. I was talking with someone about this, and they're like, "Yeah, this is like a trap card," which it can be used as a trapping card. It's not amazing though. The big issue is that it is a fighting energy. I mean, it's not super good anyways. And one of the Pokemon you might want to be trapping is Pheasantipede EX, and be hitting it for weakness, which is actually bad because you want to, play it slower. You could trap Squawkabilly EX actually forever, which is kind of cool. Is this good? It's not amazing, but it is something to talk about. And then the other attack is Attempted Mimicry. You flip a coin for 2 colorless, and if heads, you copy one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks. The coin flip's bad, right? You could commit, it's not a ton of energy, but some energy in an attacker that's going to get knocked out, and you could get no value. And on a heads, you're getting like okay value, but it's probably not amazing value. I'm trying to think, like against Iron Hands EX, I guess this is like if you get heads, it's absurd because you can copy Ampy very much and take 3 prizes as a single prize there for 2 energy, but it is a coin flip. There's no way of like helping the coin flip, certainly now, or I don't expect there will be super soon. So I don't think this is really good. I would not play it in the Ethan's deck personally. I don't like coin flips though. Is it worth including? Maybe. The Ethan's Pinsir is solid. Very good against Charizard. Charizard in Japan is, I believe, the 3rd best deck right now, 3rd most played deck at least. But it's not like you're going to see it everywhere. Dragapult is by far the most played deck, and this is not super good against it. It's not good. It's not terrible against it, but it's not going to get the job done. And then Raging Bolt as well, which this isn't one-shotting the Pokemon there, so again, it's not terrible, the Ethan's Pinsir. And the Ethan Sudowoodo is, really sketchy and okay when it works there. So yeah, these are okay. They're cool, and they add a bit more to the Ethan stack. The Ethan stack, as I said, isn't super strong. I would not hate to see it get some more cards or some like more support that aren't directly Ethan's Pokemon, but I don't think we will. I imagine these will be the last of them. We certainly need more Misty's Pokemon, though. I hope we'll see those. Misty's Pokemon are really bad, so hopefully we get that. And then, yeah, Arvins are also pretty bad. Actually have Ponyta and Rapidash. Ponyta is nothing interesting here. Rapidash's attack isn't really interesting either, but you have Rapidash's ability, Hard Gate, which is once during your turn you may draw a card. We've seen a few different cards like this. This is just a standard video as well. You could play this in, like, say, GLC, and it could be kind of interesting there. I personally don't love it there, but I heard some people talking about it. But regardless, Rapidash is similar to, I'll say it's like, I mean, it's the same ability as it's Weird in Standard, actually. Weird does not see any play. I've seen it played in pre-release, but it's pretty bad in Standard. And then you also have Sawsbuck. Sawsbuck is a card. It's the one I remember before it. Someone was actually asking about this in the my Discord server about like a custom card. So there's Sawsbuck. This is kind of similar. Again, not particularly good. I guess I got played some, but again, it's not particularly good. There's also a Lowland Sands slash, which is a card that I also don't think saw play, but this saw play in a different format, in theme format. It's not amazing in that format, but it's okay. So figured I'd mention that. Honestly, I just like talking about these weird formats that I was gonna say no one plays. I mean, people play pre-release. Obviously, pretty much no one's playing themed. It's discontinued. But yeah, those aren't great though. They're not good in Standard. I've seen them occasionally, and then there are some older cards. The most similar card in Standard is Goldango, though. I think. Well, Weirder's similar, but I think Goldango, it's a better card, obviously. And its ability is solid. Its ability is used. Obviously, it's used, but it's not played next to it can attack. But it's not always the main attacker. Notably within the in Japan, there are decks that are Dragapult EX with Goldango EX. Most of them are Goldango focused. However, I have seen a few that are Dragapult focused. Like this one here plays a 2/2 Goldango. Can attack with it. Plays a couple of Superior Energy Retrievals, plays an Earthen Vessel, and has Dracloak and Goldango EX, and they can help draw you cards. And Goldango is not really going to be using its draw 2, it's going to be using draw 1. It's draw 2 in the active, draw 1 of the bench, so this is the closest comparison I can give, but Rapidash doesn't have good attack. Rapidash doesn't really have good cards. I don't think it has. Yeah, it has this one. I actually like this Rapidash, but it's rotating, so will not be playable together. But yeah, that's a card. It's an engine piece. I mean, there aren't really engine pieces. Stage 1 engines that are super good. There's a bunch. They're kind of different. They kind of have serious negatives for all of them. Zoroark EX, I guess, is better, but it is a two-prizer and can get stuck as well. This only has one retreat, which is nice. Comparing it to Dunsparce EX, that's a pretty weird one. Guldango EX, obviously, a two-prizer. Zoroark EX, definitely a better engine than that. Then you have Pidgeot EX, and you have a bunch of different options. None of them are super strong. Drakeloak is better than Rapidash, though. Now that I think about it, it's objectively better, except it has less HP. But I would definitely put Drakeloak over this, but it is a card to talk about. The last one here, though, this one is the biggest and best one by far. This is Shaymin from the same set, and it has an attack that's not good, and then it has an ability that is good, Flower Curtain. This may sound familiar to some of you, or like pretty much all of you. And it says, prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon without a rule box by attacking some of your opponent's Pokemon. This is the replacement for Manaphy. This is something that gets talked about with rotation a lot. We saw this last time. Manaphy was printed a little bit after rotation last time, which probably might confuse some people because it was the first set of the year, but rotation was at a different point. But yeah, Mew was the card before that. That was the bench barrier card. So looks like Pokemon probably will be printing like bench barrier cards and keep them in the format for most of the time. They'll maybe leave it out for like a month or for like a set or two. So this is interesting to note. This isn't the same bench barrier as Manaphy. Manaphy protects all your bench Pokemon. This doesn't prevent rule box Pokemon. Currently, the only rule box, well, okay, currently rule box Pokemon are, I believe V's, Radiants, and EXs are the only rule boxes in Standard. I could be forgetting something. But I'm pretty sure that's all. There are variations of those that are rule box Pokemon still, like V stars, but those are Vs. But Radiants and Vs are rotating, so I think it's just EXs that are the only rule box Pokemon. We are getting Megas, and again, there are variations on EXs, but they're all just EXs, and so they will be rule box Pokemon. But like a lot of those are Terra EXs. I've talked about this a lot in terms of attackers, but on the defensive side of it, a lot of them are immune to bench damage anyway, so this will be just another card to protect the rest of your bench. And this is pretty good. Right now, in post-rotation Japan, bench damage is, it's like okay. Dragapult's really good. This is not stopping Dragapult though. There's Rabsca. Rabsca will stop Dragapult. Jirachi is a different card. It doesn't really stop anything, to be honest, post-rotation that I can think of. That's like good. It stops Uxie, which is okay. But your Rabsca is what you want to stop Dragapult, though it's not a perfect counter. And then you have Slowking is the other deck that I'm thinking of. And Slowking copies Kyurem. Oh, also Darmanitan, or ends Darmanitan, also does bench damage. And Wellspring has Ogerpon EX as well. That does bench damage. So there are a few Pokemon they see play. They're not super common. Dragapult is definitely... You're going to see more Dragapult than I think any other spread. And Dragapult is bench damage, or damage counter, sorry. So Shaymin will not be stopping that. If you want to know, placing damage counters is like an effect of an attack outside of damage. Doing damage itself is different. So that can be kind of weird. It is weird. There's a reason it's not in pocket because it's complicated. But yeah, and so Mantan does some bench damage. I said Kyurem's really bad for you, so like stopping that's nice. And then like Wilson Rancer Pontiac isn't great, and Mantan is not great to be hit by, but it's not the end of the world. Oh, Screamtail also snipes. That's a little different though. I feel like it's not like knocking out multiple targets. Okay, there's another one. Hafzashi next also snipes. It's only going to be sniping 30, so it probably doesn't matter. Could protect your Badoo. So there are Pokemon that are this will stop in the metagame. Also, this is 80 HP. Wow. Okay, that's surprising. I guess we saw power creep because Mew was 60, then Manaphy's 70, and then Shaymin's 80. But this is definitely bad. You'd definitely rather have 70 HP because you're not Buddy Pop and searchable in this form. This Shaymin, though, is really good, or it's pretty good. I think it'll see a lot of play. I think it'll see less play than Manaphy, but I don't know. It obviously just kind of depends what the metagame's going to look like, and I'm not going to try to predict the metagame 3 years from now or 2 or whatever right before this rotates because we don't know like any of the cards, so I won't do that. But who knows? It could be really important, or it could be like kind of meaningless. But right now it's okay. I think it is a card that is worth playing in some decks post rotation when it comes out. We will see. I'm trying to think of the other cards from Heatwave Arena though. I can't think of any snipe ones off the top of my head. Minus Grimm's channel does a little bit of snipe. It's not that much. It's also out in Japan, and that's a little bit of a different meta thing. But yeah, Shaymin's really good. A really important card to have back in the game. That I want to see. I personally like it in the game. But anyways, tell me down below in the comments what you think about this card. This is obviously a really big deal. The other ones weren't that big of a deal, but I hope you enjoy. Consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell, all that good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.